Test, test, test. All right, we're doing a playback of February 17th. And some interesting notes here. We're going to talk about the trade real quick and super good notes as well. Okay, so our first trade comes here on a swing high, first entry, second entry, breaks up a tick higher on that red bar, pushes down, then that's your signal bar right there. As soon as it breaks higher. So here's the thing about this. We break above this level of resistance here. If you take a look at the minute chart, what it really looks like, see that area right there? That's a good level of resistance matching up with that. So once we broke up at that point, we're right here, right? So there's no how can you say it? FOMO at this point. But if we take a look at this guy, so there's no FOMO, it's just one big move, no FOMO yet, because you don't want to take a position that doesn't have a correction. People are suspecting a correction in those big spikes, so there's not FOMO yet, but once they see that correction, then there's going to be that FOMO. So once you start to push up there, then you get a little bit of a correction. Now there's FOMO there, that becomes a spike, breaking off of that resistance. So buying there is the best thing you could do. Good, great trade. Then you have a swing high, first entry, second entry. And we couldn't enter this one. Overall trend is still up. No trend down yet. So you go for a non-obvious sell. And yeah, you could have done a wick ticker. Not really on first entry, but I would stay out of that. And swing low, first entry, second entry. Here, this is an extremely interesting thing. This one's a very good trade here. So we have these lows here. If you take a look at the minute chart, you have this low here and that low there. You're getting awfully close to there, but you definitely broke below these lows. And if you take a look here, there's probably stops here, stops here, it stops there. So to some degree, this is a FOMO or spike, right? So it should be, but there's no correction in it, absolutely no correction. And we know that people are suspecting some sort of correction after a big move like that, especially after breaking below this low here. And this low, maybe not so much here because people are still bouncing here. But once we start to break below that low and then break below that low, people are suspecting some sort of correction there. So they're not hopping in on the bandwagon just yet. People are suspecting some sort of correction. So no FOMO yet. Then you get the beautiful correction. I missed that. And so sell there is the best option. I went for a non or a buy on the first tick entry. I got super lucky. So you can see just got it by the scalp. But selling there is the absolute best option, as you can see. And it pushes on down. What a beautiful trade. And then you get a swing high, first entry, and second entry. So here's the thing about this. If you take a look at this as two big moves here, you got this and two-legged correction. That's textbook. So that's one move and that's another move. That's your correction right there. This is not one big move. This is the overall move with the correction right in the middle after breaking out down below these lows. And it's been a pretty consistent low, as you can see. That's the lowest of the low. And so once you break down below there, that's a definite FOMO because you already had the correction. I thought there was no correction, but if you take a look at it, that's your correction. And also you could argue there's a little bit of a correction there. If you take a look at the minute chart, there's like a little green bar. And so it is a massive move, but it has a massive move with a correction followed by the exact same measured amount of massive move. I guess that makes sense. And so selling there on a FOMO because you had the correction would be the best trade. Yeah, so I'm going to keep going. We'll see. But yeah, pretty good notes there, I think. Nice. Oof. Just in by a couple ticks and got the scalp. Ooh, super lucky, I think. Scalp size mattered here, boys. Oh. Overall trend is down, so you just buy here. Pretty easy trade, I think. And overall trend was just down here, so we bought and you just got lucky there. Swing low, first entry, second entry. Oh, actually, swing high, first entry, second entry. You would hold up. Swing high, first entry, second entry. Oh, that buy would have not worked. I have actually nothing for this one. Actually, hold on. Selling here would be good, and selling here would be good. But a non-AV. I guess this is, if you take a look at this, it's a big move down, correction, so maybe FOMO. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting here. It is this slight downtrend thing, congestion thing, but it's a little bit too late to be able to decide that here. If we counted somehow, counted this as a double top for entry second entry, that'd be great. I think it's still FOMO because you have this big move, and then it keeps pushing down, and then once you push back up there, this becomes some sort of level support, and then there's still FOMO there because people are still trying to pick bottom. But man, it's a tough one. Honestly, I think it's just a matter of I don't know. Ooh, okay, so all right, so you have this like slight level of resistance, but you get these. Okay, so let me explain it this way. Since this is a trending day, we have a level of resistance, right? So let's say here, but as soon as you start to push up above it, that level of resistance becomes invalid, and the overall direction, overall trend, becomes a direction in which that way, which would be the breakthrough, right? So in this case, we have this level of resistance, right? We broke through again, pushed a little higher, then we broke through again, pushed a little through higher. So overall trend here is up, which is why you go for a sell. I thought overall trend is down, but there's some clear indications of. I was just trying to find a reason to have the overall trend up. You do have that massive move, but there's nothing really convincing until I realized you have these highs. So if you get highs and that keeps pushing higher, just like what we've said in the past before. Like, oh, here's a good example. You have this guy, right? This downfall of a congestion. This is after, before 9:50 or 10 o'clock, so this doesn't really count as a trade, but it's that downward congestion, and what it really is those lows just getting lower and lower. People buying there, getting stopped out, buying and getting stopped out. So essentially, that's the exact same thing that's going on here, which is everybody selling, getting stopped out, and so overall direction here is actually up. I think that's something we're gonna have to add to the notes, or maybe just continuously regurgitate. Especially on trending days. I think this is super duper valid and only valid on trending days. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that actually. So I'm going to try to regurgitate it. So when you have levels, lows, things to regurgitate. All right, people are trying to pick bottom. We can delete that. Oh, here, we can add it down to here. A little different. Whatever. Such as simple, consistent, higher highs / lower lows, where people are getting stopped out. I just like spam the button of whatever like letter gets repeated. Oops, different. Consistent. How do you spell consistent? Oh, there's no I. Okay. This can also look a little different, such as a simple constant highs, consistent higher highs, lower lows, where people are getting stopped out. In this case here, yeah. So people are getting stopped out. It's that strictly trending days. So overall trend here is up. We should probably back that up with must Someone just hit my head. What was that? Okay, I'm gonna stop this recording because I'm gonna go ahead and check what fell on my head. Something hit my head for sure. Maybe it was just my, I don't know. Okay.